All right, guys, I came back from Home Depot. So that's what we got here. Got the 3/8 hose, um, 3/4 to 3/8 adapter. This, that right there. Um, the guy there, he was working in the department. He was trying to. He did it a different way. He pretty much got a two-piece deal. He said this wasn't going to work because it was garden hose, and the thread wasn't going to work. This is the first thing I picked up, but I let him do his thing. I put the stuff he gave me back. So I just got the one-piece garden hose with the barb end. And he did suggest, which I thought might be a good idea, maybe. Might use it, might not. Some O-rings, because that part there that went on the sprayer itself, that in that hose is pretty loose. It fits tight on the barb end of the new piece, but this original adapter is loose. So Teflon tape, I'm gonna try to fill the gap some, because this hose is pretty stiff. They have some softer hose, but this has the little supports in the inside, nylon support going all the way through, helping it not to be able to burst or get kinks in it. So that's what I wanted. So yeah, so I'll fill up. I'll Man, the helicopter sounds low. Sorry if y'all heard that. That was a big Army helicopter. It sounded like it was about to land right in the middle of the street. It's one big ones. Anyway, so y'all get the point. That wasn't gonna fit in there. It might be loose, and if I tighten it up with some clamps, it's still like it's pretty good spacing in there, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I couldn't get anything any closer there at Home Depot, so use the small clamps on each end, and these little donut gaskets if I have to use that. So we'll see how it works out. I'm cut this to size, way more than what you need. Probably half. Probably cut this in half. And so I was trying to get another piece like this. That's a one deal. See if I can use it on there just as an option. But I couldn't find anything that with this thread and this size at all. So, all right, I'm gonna try to put this together and give it a quick little pause. All right, so what I did was I put some of the Teflon tape, on there just to build it up a little bit so it can be a little bit thicker to go up in there. So I feel it rubbing against the sides. I feel good about that. I went ahead and put that O-ring back there. Probably not gonna do nothing at all, but it doesn't hurt. I'm gonna put it at the end. Kind of seals it a little bit, and there you have it. So it ain't moving. I did cut my hose about the length of the original hose. I think I went about 4 or 5, probably about 4 more inches longer. I can always cut it down if I don't want to, if I don't need it. So yeah, so there you have it. That's one end, which will go on the end of your, sprayer there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that up. And I really need to put my clamp on first, of course. Slide that down. Make sure you get that those threads good and tight, because once this is closed back up, you cannot tighten it from the outside. They make this thing pretty flimsy, as you can see. It's not really bolted down. The assembly there, that's the motor assembly. It's pretty flimsy. It's just kind of sitting there floating. But once you clamp everything down, screw it from the outside, then that's when that get tightened down, get sandwiched with those little straps from earlier. these right here. So that will strap that down, keep it from getting loose. Try not to over tighten it because it is plastic. Can't strip. So there you have it on that. I think the only thing you probably have to be careful with this is making sure this is out of the way of everything. So just depends on how it needs to clamp down. You don't want that in the way like that of your screw. And that top piece goes on top of that. So make sure you probably put that off to the side like that, so it's out of the way of everything. So I'll get that tightened down. All right, got that good and tight. I feel good about that. I don't think no wire's gonna come past that. We'll see it when we test it out. So next step, go ahead and get your, dry fit your other part that goes on the wand, and that would be that the new part we got wherever I put it at. Oh, right here, right in front of my face. So you put that on your end of your wand, and make sure that all fits good. So let me check that out. Now this was the original gasket that was sitting on the end of that goes on there, but I'm not going to use that because the garden hose bar end has a gasket in there. I don't want a double gasket that might create a opening where it can leak out. So I'm just going to put that directly on there and let it seal itself. I may put some thread tape in there. I don't know. I probably won't start off and see if it holds the seal. You shouldn't need it, but because of that gasket in there, so I'm gonna tighten it down. And then, as you can see, it goes right in there. So I'm gonna put a clamp on there first. And then probably don't need to even use pliers to tighten this down, but I'm gonna give it a good one turn. So once again, it's plastic. You don't want to strip it, so that gasket should be sealing real good right now. So you just take your hose. This is some stiff hose, so when you cut it, I used a box cutter, but if you have some plumbing like PEX cutters, I prefer that. I just didn't have it right in front of me. I would have used that. Get it one slice, good clean cut. But just be careful with the knife, Of course, this is some tough stuff, so you got to really work it to cut through it. So watch your hands. So yep, just slide it in there like that. Give that a good tight couple turns on the clamp. Should be good to go. So now I'll start putting everything backwards. I'll put the cover back on there. I might vacuum, make sure my little shavings, as you can see, kind of fell in there. So I'll get that cleaned out with the vacuum. Then I'll put these screws back in. I did want to show you why I have this open. I was saying earlier about when you make these holes bigger, if you're going to go that route, you don't have a whole lot to play with, so don't go super big. Just enough to fit your tool down there if you don't have the Torx big tools like I had. Remember, I started off with the thicker end. That's the reason why I bored holes in there in the first place. So if you do have to do that, and you don't want to go get those tools, this what can happen. Because the more you open that hole, the thinner the walls are. That's what I was saying earlier. So you risk messing up these walls and it busting out like that. Then you have nothing to hold your stuff together. As long as you be careful. You see a few right there too, a little bit. So I got right on the edge of a few of them like that. You can see those threads, but even little stress marks, So just take your time if you have to go that route, and don't go no bigger than you have to. Make sure you dry fit every time after you bore 2 holes, or you go to the next size, test and see if it'll fit in there. You need just enough. So I recommend just go ahead and get that Torx bit tool set, and you'll be better off. You won't have to do none of that. Skip all those steps I did. So let me get this vacuumed up, cleaned up, and put in place. I want to show you guys something before I put my cap back on. Actually, I can set it back on there. And you will have to cut that little label there right in the middle with the knife, because it'll hold that on there. But I do want to show you about the screws I was talking about earlier. Why couldn't I get my tool in there? You can see I got all that green plastic in the heads. So I just said, you know what, let me go and take them all out in case I ever have to do this again. That's why I couldn't get that torque bit on a couple of them. They were stuck. So I'm gonna clean these out for next time in case I have to ever do it again. At least it'll be cleaned out. All right, so I set that on there, but I was not ready. Remember to put your strap back on. Put that back on there, because that motor is gonna be jumping around. Maybe this get loose, loosen itself up. So make sure you put those little security screws back in there, and that way you ensure everything is tight. Now I got that on there. I can put my cover back on. You just need, it's gonna catch a little bit there, but it'll go past it, just a little wiggle. That's sitting good. So now we can put our screws back in. Remember that was a T20. All right, so we got all those tightened down. Guess I could show you even the other end of this hose that was connected to the sprayer down there. It was already starting to fray also and just come apart. So that was gonna be next. But this, even though it's got a braze in there, this was just a horrible rubber hose at the end of the day. So it's very flexible. This stuff is flexible enough. It's very stiff. You have to really work it. So you shouldn't have to worry about this ever doing that. And if you do, it'll be easy to. That's probably the part that took the longest, trying to peel off this from the end, down there. So next time you just go in there, open it up, place the hose in and out real fast. So I'm gonna fill this thing up, be ready to test it, and we'll see how I do. We'll see if it leaks. All right, got my battery in, put some water in there. Oh, know what I forgot? My knob. Forgot that. Should be centered already for off. So let's see what it do. See the water start going through there already. Let's see if it holds. Let's see here. No leaks. Spraying strong. Back to how it was. You see there, no leaks. And you can see your fluids going through the hose. That's a nice little feature now. Anyway, that's not important. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Another do-it-yourself project you can do. Just get the few things that I mentioned. Home Depot. Remember, if you can avoid drilling that out, just go get your Torx bit set before you do the project. That way you save yourself a lot of time. All right, this is Nova from G Body Auto. Work at home, save some money. Y'all have a good one until next time.